St. George and the Dragon. Once upon a time, in the Roman era of the 5th or 6th century, there lived a fierce dragon that terrorized the local community. A terrible dragon had come to live in the lake and attacked the villagers every day. This dragon demanded a daily sacrifice from the villagers, but the villagers didn't know what to do. First, they gave all their food, but the dragon took the food and continued attacking the villagers. Secondly, the villagers gave all the animals. The dragon took all the animals and continued to attack the villagers again. Thirdly, they gave all their gold and jewels, and the dragon took all their money but still was not satisfied. Finally, the villagers had decided to offer their children as a tribute or sacrifice once a year. The sacrifice was chosen by lottery, and one day the lot fell on the king's daughter. The king offered all his gold and silver to save his daughter, but the people refused. The king could only think of one aim to protect his people. He decided and sent his only daughter, the princess, to the lake to wait for the dragon. The princess was tied to the tree, and while waiting for the dragon, a brave and noble knight named St. George came to be passing through the road. He saw the distressed princess tied to the tree and asked her what had happened. She tearfully told him about the dragon and the impending sacrifice. The princess tried to send St. George away, but he vowed to remain. St. George of Lydda was a Roman military officer of Cappadocian Greek origin and a member of the Praetorian Guard for Roman Emperor Diocletian. While they were conversing, the dragon jumped out of the pond and was going to eat the princess. St. George prayed, made the sign of the cross, and decided to confront the dragon with compassion and a sense of duty. He was armed with a sword, which was clad in shining armor. A fierce battle ensued between George and the dragon, but with great skill and bravery, St. George seriously wounded the dragon with his lance. He then asked the princess to throw her girdle, Zaina, and he put it around the dragon's neck. The dragon followed the princess like a meek beast on a leash wherever she walked. St. George and the princess led the dragon back to the village, where it terrified the villagers, and everyone was very scared. St. George then killed the dragon with his sword, and the body was carted out of the city on 4 ox carts. The villagers were so amazed at what they had witnessed and pleased that they would have no more problems with the dragon. The villagers became Christians, and they were all baptized, including the king. The king was so grateful that he offered him treasures as a reward for saving his daughter's life, but the humble knight refused and asked that the rewards be given to the poor. Then the king built a church to the Blessed Virgin Mary and St. George on the site where the dragon died, and a spring flowed from its altar with water that cured all disease. St. George was arrested, tortured, and sentenced to death by Diocletian because of his Christian faith. He continued his spiritual struggles and martyrdom for 7 years. Over the course of 7 years, he was greatly tortured many times but had no effect, was imprisoned, and was killed 3 times but resurrected every time. He was aided by the angels. During his struggle, he resurrects the dead and makes trees sprout and pillars bear flowers. Eventually, he exposed the idols of Satan. Over the course of his martyrdom, more than 40,900 pagan people were converted to Christianity, including the Empress Alexandra, but she was put to death. Finally, he prays to God to allow him to die, which is granted. His body was buried in Lydda. Since then, he has been honored as a venerated saint and megalomartyr in Christianity. He is also respected by Druze and some Muslims as a martyr of monotheistic faith. St. George's feast day was celebrated on 23 April by Christian churches, universities, professions, organizations, and countries that have claimed George as the patron saint, notably England, Bulgaria, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Russia, Ukraine, Malta, Ethiopia, Greece, Georgia, Portugal, Romania, Syria, Lebanon, Catalonia, Alquay, Aragon in Spain, Rio de Janeiro, and several other cities and regions. Today, the story of St. George's bravery is remembered as that of the valiant knight who saved the king's daughter from the clutches of the fearsome dragon, and George is known as the patron saint of many countries.
I hope you enjoy the story. If you like it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, so you never miss any of the fun and educational stories.